Hello and welcome back to another Final Fantasy deck spotlight. This week has been off to a bit of a rocky start, but you know what? We're going to keep things going with a mono earth aggro deck. Normally earth is known as a defensive element. You have things like Golem and Shantotto that really play into that more defensive role. Monks obviously help out a lot, but you know what? We wanted to switch gears, give you an aggressive build. It's mono color, so it's great to teach people with, and you know what? There's something here. There's something that can be, unlocked, if you will, and give something a new angle of attack at your local meta. So let's get right into it. The first thing that you'll note is that we do have a standard unit combo here with Ingus into the WRO Member package. Now we are playing the full WRO Member package, and it is Final Fantasy VII, so we can tutor it, which we'll talk about later, but it just is a way to start off with Ingus, have a 4-drop 8k, play a 2-drop 6k, which is going to get bigger, it's going to have Brave, and it lets you get that engine going. Also worth noting is that Ingus can play some backup, so he does a lot of work in this deck. Going on to, hey, let's play more stuff for free, we have the Yang and Ursula combo. Now we are playing the baby Yang here as well, or the 2-drop Yang, because turns out it's a 2-drop that can be very good in itself, and it's often going to be an 8k 2-drop with Brave in this deck. But 4-drop Yang obviously going to be the one that we want to see early when we have it paired with Ursula, but in that more mid to late game where maybe we have Ursula on board, they took care of our Yang, she drops down to a 6k, we can play the 2-drop Yang, get right back in the field, have another 9k in this case, and it's going to really make her a 2-drop that your opponent just has to answer. And yes, they're going to have Odins or different things to remove it, but it is a very efficient forward, and that's what this deck wants to be doing. Going to some of our utility choices, we have Gippal. Not much really needs to be said about this because we were playing that kind of a lower curve aggressive build. We need something that can be an anthem for our team or give them all plus 4,000. We can Tama it in on defense. It has a lot of utility here that we can really use in this deck, and it's an EX burst, so why not? Then we have 3 Rydia. Again, we are playing a mono earth deck outside of the Zidane here, so ignore that little note, but 7,000 damage to forwards of all elements except Earth. There are going to be these really crazy live the dream turns where if you can do Rydia and Yang in the same turn, it's going to kill them, but oftentimes you'll find out if you're going against Golbez or maybe you're going against some other low to the ground decks, 7,000 damage is going to do a lot. And what I really love about her first effect is that she can discard a summon for the cost of the special instead of discarding another Rydia. So it's a way to get multiple activations over the course of a game if you really need to. An interesting one here is Zidane. I know that's going to catch a lot of people off guard, but you have to think about this deck as we need some kind of draw power or something that we know is just going to help trade up. So with the ability of Golem, for example, we have a 3-drop 7k, which can threaten to be a 9k on attacking, and it's going to draw you a card. So it's going to replace itself, giving you, a 1-drop 7k or a 1-drop 9k when you pair with Golem, or 2-drop 9k in that case. So it always allows you to threaten up, keep guys on the board, and keep that aggression going. Now we have our fun ofs, and the one that I really like or I want to take a moment and call out is the Black Tortoise. Now it is a 5-drop 8k Brave with stats to go the distance. Choose a forward, loses first strike, isn't going to always be perhaps that relevant as you like, but it has the ability to get himself plus 2,000 power. So let's go to attack with him before blocks, or even if blocks, depending on what they block with, of course. Tap him for a second effect, it gets plus 2,000 power because we're going to have the very obvious Earth backup. He's then going to be an 11k, so this guy is, you really only need one, and he's going to sit on the field and just be able to push for damage every single turn. Vanille, interesting choice here as well because we do play the summon, the full suite. So this is kind of our infinite blocker, if you will. What I mean by that is that when she dies, we can take the summon out of our deck, bring her back into play. And when we're again playing things like Golem, we can leave her up on defense, have her block, and then she's going to enter the field dull again, but at least we're not losing a forward in that process. And because we played Golem, it's going to be 11k in total. And then lastly, Guy. I would really like to see this as a 2 in this deck, admittedly, because he's going to be a 9k Brave, and Ice is just everywhere. But for now, he is a 1 to 2 of in pretty much any Earth deck that you can imagine. Moving on to our summons, we do have that Golem that I have talked so much about. This card is really what you want to be focusing on in these more aggressive builds. It is a 1 crystal point battle trick. It is the cheapest battle trick in the game currently and offers some of the largest power swings in terms of the different effects they have. So sure, there is Sylph in green, but it's only at 1,000 active, where this is giving you at least 2,000 on attacking, or if they're blocking, plus 4,000. So this is really the best, in my opinion, battle card that you can be using, or summon card to battle with. Then we have 3 of Bike or Hecatoncheir, share. what have you. They can break a summon. Obviously, we really want to be focusing around breaking our opponent's backups with this for the 1000 power swing, or if there's a Minwoo and we really need to play into the Rydia factor, that's going to help as well. So versatile card, and again, even in the matchups where we don't really care for it, we can use Vanille's effect to make sure we keep having a blocker and use it to thin our deck that way. And then we have Atomos, the last summon in the deck. Choose a forward, deal its damage equal to the highest power forward you control. So again, we're going to be building up this board. We're going to have these stronger forwards. We're going to be able to play this as our, Earth Odin, if you will. Obviously not as good as Odin, because this is going to require you to have a high-powered forward on the field, which we might not have always, depending on if we have a guy or if we have the Black Tortoise, what have you. We have a lot of guys that we can power up, but some of the times there maybe only be that 7 or 8, which might not yet be the sweet spot. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult to use, but you do need that removal ultimately in the deck. Moving on, we talked about monks galore and all these amazing backups that give you the ability to push for damage. So the first monk, earth, tap, break, plus 2000 power, great. The second monk, 2 crystal points, so obviously more expensive, but 3000 in brave. These combined really help threaten your ability to say, you know what, I'm going to make my guys big. You at some point have to care about this because they're cheap backups. You're going to play multiple of them because they're a standard unit. You can play it off Ingus. You can play multiple of them. You can have all 5 monks, on the board if you really wanted to. Spoiler, don't advise that. Because your other backups are also important, but it is additional battle tricks. Now, this one, of course, is on the field, so your opponent is going to be aware of it, but hey, sometimes they just miss it. We've seen worse things happen, on camera. So then we have the WRO Member, which we've talked about, goes with the other guys, and of course, we have the ability to break him and save our commander in this case. So, very strong card. 3 Evoker, we really just want to make sure that we're maximizing our hand and being as resource conscious as we can, so be able to play this on turn 2 and then going into 2 backups on effectively turn 3, so we can play that Yang, we can play the Ursula, we can then play a monk off of it. It really just helps smooth out your draws. A 1-of Tama, I'd love to see this as a 2-of because of how good it can be for either dropping Gippal, on our opponent's turn to play defensive. We can drop Yang if we need to as a surprise blocker. There's a lot of different things that you can be doing with it. Going into the more standard backups that you're going to be finding in Earth, we have 3 Enna Kros, the plus 1000 power backup. We have 1 Jessie. Yes, I had to look at this myself. It's just for the WRO Member. And then a 1-of Raubahn. Another card that I really think should be a 2-of in this list. Yes, again, the same downside that it has with Atomos, that it has to have a high-powered forward in the field, but allows us to, play these forwards early, power them up through the Enna Kros, or maybe we're going to give him, Golem so he can push through for combat. He trades, and then you can use Raubahn to use fight to kill something else, what have you. There's more options that you have in the deck. It's a little more expensive to pull those off, but again, options is what this deck is really all about, and maximizing those power plays to either, again, break their backup for the plus 1000 power swing, use Golem for a 2000 and 4000 swing. Golem, again, is absolutely my favorite card in this list. And that's it, guys. That is a really quick look at the Mono Earth aggro deck. I really hope you do try this at your locals this week. Again, it's something completely different. We really haven't seen this before. Mono Earth has always been focused on the must-play 3 Shantotto. And to look at this deck overall, it's fairly budget, all things considered. And again, it's going to be a great teaching tool to take to your locals and get people excited about Final Fantasy. So we really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to drop a like. It really helps us out. Comment down below what changes you would make to the deck, and don't forget to hit subscribe for future Final Fantasy TCG content. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next Final Fantasy Deck Spotlight. Have a good one. This video made possible thanks to the Patreon support of viewers such as yourself. Thank you to our honorary sages.